Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hope is Kindled, a brief but poignant reflection on literature that has not only shaped the world but continues to shape who we are. As always, I promise to keep digression to a minimum. We are not here to mine every line for scholarly riches, but to glean a few precious lessons, narrative, psychological, and historical, that illuminate the path of life. Some of these works are truly life-altering. You might read one and find that your perception of reality, your way of thinking, and how you relate to the world are never quite the same again. And in truth, great writing is not meant to be safe. As Rob Zombie once said, art is not safe, and as the bookseller from The Never-Ending Story might agree, some books are not safe either. That's what makes them powerful. Today we turn to one such powerful voice, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and his seminal essay, Self-Reliance. A voice that echoes across time. When I first read Emerson, I was young and full of questions about who I was and what the world expected of me. It was then I heard these immortal words, "Trust thyself, every heart vibrates to that iron string." It was like thunder across a quiet field. Emerson's call for individuality, self-trust, and non-conformity struck a deep chord, and it still does today, especially for young readers searching for identity in a noisy, demanding world. Ralph Waldo Emerson. A brief biography. Born in 1803 in Boston, Massachusetts, Emerson came of age during a time of religious and political transformation in America. After attending Harvard and serving briefly as a Unitarian minister, he grew disillusioned with institutional religion and stepped away from the pulpit. What followed was a lifetime of writing, speaking, and philosophizing, becoming the leading figure in a movement we now call transcendentalism. Emerson believed that true understanding came not through tradition or secondhand knowledge, but through direct experience of the divine in nature and in the self. To know the world, you must first know, and be true to, yourself. Self-Reliance, a manifesto for inner strength and self-reliance, Emerson warns us against conformity. He urges us to stop measuring ourselves by the expectations of others and to listen instead to the quiet authority of our own conscience. Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. These are more than clever lines. They're battle cries against the pressures that way, especially heavily on young people. To fit in, to follow the crowd, to perform roles that others write for us. In this essay, Emerson encourages us to write our own lines, to live lives that are sincere, original, and courageously honest. What young readers can take away, young readers often stand at crossroads. They are constantly told what to be by schools, parents, peers, social media, culture. Emerson invites them instead to trust their instincts, even if those instincts make them feel out of place. To be great is to be misunderstood. That quote alone can be a balm to the creative spirit. If you're misunderstood, it might mean you're thinking differently. And that's not a flaw, it's a gift. Imagine if Einstein or Steve Jobs or Maya Angelou had bowed to social expectations and silenced their authentic voices. Emerson would say, "The world did not need another mimic. It needed them, and it needs you, just as you are." The psychological lens. From a psychological standpoint, Emerson's essay anticipates what modern psychology calls self-actualization, the process of realizing one's full potential. Psychologist Carl Rogers emphasized the importance of congruence, the alignment between our true selves and how we live. Emerson knew this instinctively. Nothing can bring you peace but yourself. That's not a shallow platitude, it's a deep challenge. The peace Emerson speaks of doesn't come from the approval of others, or even from success. It comes from integrity, when your life reflects your values. The historical lens. Historically, self-reliance emerged during America's 19th century expansion, when the nation was wrestling with what kind of identity it wanted to claim. Emerson's essay is as much about national character as it is about personal identity. Just as the country needed to break from the traditions of Europe and define itself, Emerson urged each individual to do the same. Insist on yourself, never imitate. This was America's literary declaration of King Croc. Independence. Literary and critical legacy. Self-reliance has never gone out of style. It inspired Henry David Thoreau, Emerson's protege and close friend, to retreat to Walden Pond and write Walden a meditation on simplicity and deliberate living. Emerson's influence can also be traced in the poetic rhythms of Walt Whitman, the spiritual intensity of Emily Dickinson, and the soul-searching prose of Nathaniel Hawthorne and Herman Melville. Beyond the 19th century, his ideas echoed through the modern transcendence of Ralph Ellison, the defiant individualism of Ayn Rand, and even the personal philosophies of innovators like Steve Jobs, who famously quoted Emerson's maxim, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." As Emerson once put it, "Do not go where the path may lead, go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." He helped invent the very idea of the authentic self that would define generations of writers, artists, rebels, and dreamers. Emerson in pop culture, the Muppets, Looney Tunes, and classic film The Muppets, known for their whimsical yet profound storytelling, have often embraced themes of self-discovery and authenticity. In The Muppet Christmas Carol, while staying true to Dickens's original narrative, the Muppets infuse the story with their unique charm, emphasizing the importance of inner transformation and personal growth. Looney Tunes cartoons frequently parody classic literature and cultural tropes, often highlighting characters who defy norms and assert their individuality. For instance, in the 1955 short Hyde and Hare, Bugs Bunny encounters Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, navigating the chaos with his characteristic wit and self-assurance, embodying Kai, Emerson's ideal of self-reliance. In classic film, characters who embody Emersonian principles often stand out. Consider Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, whose unwavering moral compass and commitment to justice reflect a deep sense of personal integrity and self-trust, resonating with Emerson's teachings. Closing reflections reading Self-Reliance again now, I'm struck by how timely it feels. In an age of algorithms, likes, and curated personas, Emerson dares us to listen not to the crowd, but to our conscience. What I must do is all that concerns me, not what the people think. There's freedom in that, and there's power. So today, whether you're 15 or 50, whether you're struggling to be understood or simply trying to trust yourself more, may this be a gentle nudge from Emerson. Be yourself. The world needs you, not a copy of someone else. Until next time, may your hope be kindled by your own inner fire. Good journey.